Alright guys, this is the masterclass. My stats are all fucked up, do not pay attention to that. I've been switching in and out of builds, just playing around, playing different builds and stuff, but a lot of people have been telling me I should do this, so I'm gonna take the steps of breaking you guys down of my Great Axe Flail build. Now, it's a really fun build. I've been enjoying it like crazy. Just from solo play to even team play, is like your role is like very impactful if you play the build right and you utilize your cooldowns and you actually play the game like you're playing chess. So to start, we're gonna go for the our set piece and what perks we're running. So for usually, in general, what you want is enchant ward and shuriken heals. You absolutely want to find as much enchant ward shuriken heals as you could possibly get. Now your third perk can be many things. Now this is overall for any build, honestly. I don't care what you're running, you should have shuriken heals and enchant ward. That's just automatic. Is especially because enchant ward just says light and heavy attacks, but those also reduce. So from testing with a couple company mates, it also reduces ability cooldowns. Now I don't know if that's supposed to be like that or what, but there are some abilities that are considered lights and heavies. So enchant ward is your overall best bet for just damage reduction for a lot of damage you're gonna be taking. Shuriken heals mitigates as much as possible. I even got it on the tumbler boots, so it's doubled up with shuriken blessing plus shuriken heals. So the boots alone are like a fat heal plus buff. I just don't know how you don't play. I mean, unless you're going for the featherweight with the more armor. Me, I'm a fucking heal addict, so anything that could give me heals, I'm going for it. In any build that I'm playing, I'm always gonna try to find some way or form to add some type of healing. So headgear, I have the weapon perk. If I didn't have the weapon perk, I probably would go for freedom, or like vigor per se, because dots are killers in this game right now. So if you really were to want to go super bis, you would either do freedom or a dot. So it depends on really what you're dying a lot to. If you feel like you don't really get killed by CCs, vigor might be better, but freedom is also a good piece. See, now if you don't craft your shit or find the gear itself, um, Azov crystal is perfect because it gives you enchant ward refreshing, and then you can just slap on shuriken heals and boom, you're good money. Um, Glove, I put crippling reap because slow is super important for this assassin's build. Any kind of slow you apply is gonna be fucking massive. Shuriken energy, shuriken heals, enchant ward. You already know, like, it's common sense. And then on the shield, you gotta have the enchant ward so you can have those 5 stacks because you have the tumbler boots. Um, some builds you can get 6 of it, but honestly, it's not even. I don't really think it's that necessary. If I would probably drop vicious for enchanted, refreshing. Refreshing wouldn't be bad, honestly. But this is your average. I do go for the Mending Vortex because Vortex is a very key aspect to this build, and just being able to get more heals off it. Like, I even went so far deep as to having it on the Ode so that it could have the 45%. But I think, I mean, that's good, and you do get like a good substantial amount of lifesteal off of it. It's really up to personal preference, but I personally went for the Moonstone on the flail because if you do the combo right, you could get some real good DPS on your eruption. So we'll go into that in a few. Great Axe attunement. I just 2 perk rolled this. Keen's not bad. You could go for something else, but attunement and play crits I feel like is super important because you don't have really any plague, and this meta right now is plague, and I'm an assassin, so I'm always focusing healers. So the more I can keep a healer low, the better. Um, honestly, I don't think I could get plague crits and ex, exhaustion exploitation. But King's not bad because you want to crit more with the Great Axe so you can get your heals off. The more heals you have, the better. Um, the old Moonstone. I put Moonstone on both because once you drop all your cooldowns, your lights and heavies are just buffed up 17% at all times. And even when you use a Moonstone, after your first two abilities, your last ability is buffed by the 17%. So as long as if you chain your cooldowns properly and rotate them properly, you can be maximizing the 17% damage almost all the time. The only time you won't have that 17% damage is if you have two cooldowns that pop at the same time. But usually you want to be rotating them so you always have two of them on cooldown. For the amulet, I really love Cleansing Pot. I like to call it the second breath, second wind, amulet, because once you get to that low mark, you just get all your stamina back. You get your abilities back, so you can dump DPS, get yourself out of a shitty situation, double charge possibly, Maelstrom, double reap for heals. You get your trip back, you get your vortex back, so you have opportunities to heal yourself. And then Shuriken Dot Cleanse is super clutch because burns, dots, just dots in general are just fucking terrible right now. So most of the time I'm dying from dots. So honestly, to keep it a buck with you. So this is one of the reasons why I use this. For the ring, I'm using Helium Breeze and Invigorated Punishment Harding. It's kind of just overall. I mean, I do have another ring that's slash damage, but I feel like Invigorated Punishment is a lot better because it applies to both the old and the Great Axe. So the 7% slash damage is in comparison to 10% damage bonus when max buff potential, and that's for both. So your old is hitting a lot harder, and yeah, stunned and knocked down foes are taking that extra 20% damage. So you kind of want to max that as much as possible, you know. And then Endless Thirst regenerating. I just love regenerating. That's my personal preference. You could go for Refreshing Toast if that's your forte, but as long as I'm alive, I'm healing. That's my whole game. This is one way you can do it if you really want the second wind amulet. And being that it's strength focused, it just fits the build perfectly. But usually, if I'm not rocking that, I'm doing this with the Ulk with stamina recovery, and then healthy toast, regenerating and refreshing toast. I feel like this is also very viable. This is probably a lot better when you're solo playing and you're steering away from using your pots. You're not really using your pots as much. You're just counter playing a lot, so you're able to utilize your own to its maximum potential. I don't know. Some matches it does it for me. Sometimes it doesn't. But that's pretty much it when it comes to. I mean, your heart ruin is really up to you. I use Stoneform just to be able to, uninterrupted movement is just unmatched, especially for this build, because you want to be able to charge out of a situation. You want to be able to finish your combo even though people are trying to throw crowd control on you. So like you can even use it to help you kill. Like if you got a healer low and you need to finish the combo to get the kill, Stoneform that shit so that no one could pull you off or interrupt you or anything. That's like super key. But yeah, so that's mainly what we looking at now. As far as attributes, normally this is what I would look like when I'm trying to have fun. This is what it looks like. Oh, I don't have my food buff on. I'm bugging. So this is what you would want. Carrot cake. I mean, you could go with the banana bread if you got the resources for it for the extra 8 points, but I'd be burning through food too much to care for 8 points. Cause where am I gonna put that? Like I'll probably put it into con 8 more points, honestly. But I don't really be caring about it. You feel me? As long as I got that 600, I'm happy. So So what we're doing here is, like, this is basically your glass cannon. I mean, you could go 50 con, but me personally, you're just too squishy. You can get it done and it can work, but 50, I just think it's not really that worth it. I mean, the 20% outgoing healing effectiveness is slightly nice when you use Vortex and you're healing your allies, but this is what I normally play when I'm trying to have fun. And the previous video that I posted, this was what I was running. I like this. If anything, you take 50 points off of strength and you put that into con. Or if you want to drop the focus, you can drop that down. But having 100 focus is really nice because the heals you get from Healing Breeze and your Vortex are a lot more impactful because you're healing a little bit more because you are 100 focus. But you could easily do 50 focus and a 157 con and 400 strength still, so you can max out your damage. I mean, your damage doesn't suffer too much, honestly. Like, it says 1400, 1300, but you really hit a lot harder than what it's represented on this scaling here. So let's go into our flail build. This is basically the tree. Listen, I don't know if it's the best case scenario, but I think it's just what makes sense. Vortex with the final is what procs the Healing Breeze, which gives you passive healing for base weapon damage, 20% base weapon damage, and the cooldown for Vortex is about 17 seconds. That's a long time, but yeah, so you use Vortex to proc your Healing Breeze, which heals you passively. So if someone's trying to fight you and they're taking it slow, it's really hurting them because you're able to just pop off regen heals almost every time. And then if they try to push you while you're using it, not only do you have grit, not only do you remove roots and immobilizing whatever, fucking you gain haste, but you also have Mending Vortex that heals you for 25% of your damage and it hits 4 times. So you're gonna get you know, a good amount of healing just off of using Vortex, hitting your target, rooting them, and healing yourself and your allies. Plus Healing Breeze is proccing. So Vortex alone is just so massive. There's so much utility you're getting out of Vortex that I can't justify using Smite. Yes, it hits harder. Yes, cooldown extender on the perk, but that ain't fucking that ain't doing it for me. Vortex is still, for me, just better. Barrage, if you like to charge, you want to get out of there, I may go with this, but I could care less for that. Trip, you don't need the heavy attack because you need to be able to trip, light attack, and then eruption, and that's the combo for the flail. That's what's going to get you your most bursty DPS. So just trip, all these apply, you get the rend, and then you go for the eruption. Now you can go either one with this, cause like off a trip into eruption, and if you have this, you keep the rend, weaken, exhaust, and disease higher. So, but me, I like healing, so follow up attack consumes one stack of impaired, 130% total damage as health. So. And it heals your allies too, so when you use eruption, you're really healing for a lot. And just being around someone gives you 16% weapon damage for 3 seconds, scaling off of focus. So that's why we put the points into focus, so that all our healing is a little bit more buffed, and our flail's hitting a little harder. Great Axe, this is very straightforward. I don't know if I'm using the right perks because I'm like respecing this shit all the fucking time. But this is what I go with. Haste. Honestly, you could probably drop this because you know, it's hitting at least 2 targets with a you're not proccing that in a 1v1. It's working in a 2v1, but you don't really need haste in a 2v1 unless you're about to start running. And I don't really, and it's only 3 seconds. So like, you could go with this. I went with it, but you could also go for this. Increase armor penetration with the Great Axe attacks against targets below 50%. This would be crazy for you to confirm kills. So, honestly, probably best case scenario here. You want your crit hits to heal you for 10%. Great Axe attacks from 30% health or lower. Heal for 10% damage done. We need all that. Bloodlust is fucking key. Key as hell. You're gonna be able to chase people down just because of Bloodlust. If you have a Zephyr Cake and OPR, you're on their ass. They're not getting away from you. Any extra haste you might have, like Bloodlust plus Executor Speed, is just you're on them. They're not getting away from you. And you don't have to waste your dodge rolls to catch up. You can just let them burn their shit, and then you hit them with the charge. We only go for the charge. We don't need all that extra shit. You get on their ass, a reap, and they're exhausted. They're done. See, now I like to go for this. I feel like I'm not a fan of the attacks against 30% HP, so this is pretty much not really up ever until you have them really low. But it just, the way that it goes with, I mean, you honestly don't even need it. You honestly don't even need it, because you probably could do more with both of these, honestly. No, see. Yeah, you want this. You want your heavy attacks to have grit, because it comes in handy when you're fighting certain people. You can kind of use your grit to get off cheeky damage and just be able to survive certain things, because I'm pretty sure grit is gonna save you from a shield rush, not a shield bash, but a shield rush. And there you go. That's our abilities right there. If you can call a friend to get you, call a friend to pick you up. If you don't have no friends online, you're fucked. He's fucked. He's fucked. Alright. Alright, so you want to go for Element of Surprise, Light Attack, Eruption, boom. That's your combo right there. But usually, you wanna go for the Vortex, because if you can get the 4 hits of the Vortex, you can catch the root. And then you go into the Trip, and then the Light Attack, and then the Erupt. And that's gonna give you your max damage because of the Moonstone. So you're gonna go here. Trip. Boom. That wasn't even a crit, and I hit for 45 or 43, I don't remember. If it crits, I think the highest crit I hit with Eruption was 5,700. Feel me? Now, that damage goes up because of Invigorated Punishment. That damage goes up because this dummy is not knocked on the ground. If I hit somebody, like, granted, people have resistances, so you see that damage difference. But, basically, you can hit, mind you, the first hit hits for, like, almost a 3K. And if your second hit hits for, like, almost a 6K, you're doing damn near 10K damage. Just off of that alone. Mind you. That right there was 8K, and that's not even including the 17%, the 20% from the player being knocked down. So, and mind you, because we have the Ode, our blocks are healing us for 5%. It's one of the reasons why I even use the Ode. Because honestly, if I wanted, like in my Greatsword build where I use the Serenity, I use a Flail that has Powerful Eruption on the Flail. So that way, my damage is even higher. It's the 30% instead of the 18% that you're getting, just off of the extra 4% per stack. Plus the Moonstone, that's doing crazy damage. Unfortunately, you lose a 20% on stuns or knockdown foes. And the Ode's defense. I feel like that's super, it's what, tips the scale here. But yeah, that's pretty much the build. That's pretty much what we got going on here. So yeah, I hope you guys, mind you, alright, just to put this into more perspective. What up, Jared Bear? Just to put this into more perspective, if you don't have these pieces where you have weapon perks on it, you can easily just opt for the Azov crystal set. And you can even get the Azov crystal pants if you don't have an inductor craft to be able to make this per se, because you're probably never going to see this on the market. But for the most part, you can pretty much do this whole set with the Azov crystals. And as you can see, these are just con, and my stats still haven't changed. So you can do it with the Azov gear. I'm making a YouTube video right now, Jer. So just letting you know, I'm recording this shit for YouTube. I might as well stream it, you know. So yeah, yeah, we're live on stream, by the way, for the YouTube video. So yeah, so you don't need per se the perks. It's good to have. I'm obviously been working on this build for like over a month now, so of course I've used my inductor crafts to get me the pieces I actually need and stuff. So all right, and then for ruin glasses we use the punishing. I mean, I really don't know what else to use. We could do lightning damage for the ruin glass, but I don't think that's worth it. What was I gonna say? I am going to be changing my gems soon. I'm gonna be changing my onyxes for thrust and slash damage resistance, pure resistance, cause I'm noticing like I'm not taking a lot of strike damage, so there's no point in me even using it. But let's go jump into OPR and get it rocking before my daughter shows up. Then it's daddy-daughter time. Man, over here twerking. Alright, we're in here. Mind you, I didn't even use a honing stone for the damage demonstration. Let's be smart guys and just get our Zeppies immediately. We're already winning this OPR, so hopefully it's a good one. Jesus Christ, we already got doors up. What? We gotta run from that real quick. Cleanup crew had to show up on his ass. Hold on, brother. Hold on. You let him delete you? That's a shame. A medium flamethrower build, bleed build, that is annoying. He would have easily killed me, I'm not gonna lie. Alright, we're gonna go assassin crazy right here. I don't know how I didn't connect that. play right there. I stepped out of the sacred and I should have stayed in it. Both of y'all. Both. This guy is terrible at this game. That was a nice demonstration at the end where survivability came in clutch and I could stay sticky on somebody.